Good evening. You're with the Urban Debate with us here tonight. I'm Sahar Zaman, and we're making a start and keeping the focus here on the elections. That's because we've gotten a very important insight on how things are going to look basis these numbers that we're going to play out on your screen. And these are figures now that are coming in from our Times Now See Voter Opinion Poll. It's out for these upcoming assembly elections here. But before you get down to more number crunching on what we know, the findings here on what's the mood of the voter here for these elections, let's quickly take you through the methodology here that's been followed. On which date this was conducted? This was between the 4th to the 5th of March 2021, which is barely about 4 days ago here. The sample size of the poll is 3,071. And the margin of error in this poll, extremely minimal, plus minus 3% there. Let's help you understand on how we're going to break this down tonight. We're going to be going state by state, and we'll break it down into segments where we are looking at seat projections, vote share projections. Then we'll come down to the most popular personality in the state, because elections these days are also fought on the power of a personality, which is the most popular face, whether it's the sitting chief minister or is it someone campaigning from outside who's just brought into the state as a fresh face here. And of course, most importantly here, the people's issues. What are top of the mind for the voters? So let's make a start here. Out of all the 5 listings that we have for the 4 states and 1 union territory, the most keenly watched and the most high-pitched battle here that we've seen is West Bengal. So let's play out those figures of West Bengal for you. This is basis what we're looking at on seat share, on what we have right now for the projections that have come in here for West Bengal. And while we play out these figures, also keep in mind what the current figures are of the 2016 State Assembly. Now, the TMC is looking at a projection of 146 to 162. This is coming down to where it currently sits at is 211. But this projection is still enough here for the TMC to maintain its power for a record 3rd term here, because it would still manage, as per these numbers, to stay above the halfway mark. For the BJP here, it's making massive gains. If we look at the swing factor basis this projection, it's plus 27.3%. That is huge. It's a huge gain, but it's still not 200 par. 200 plus is what the BJP is pitching for, and it's still not enough to be there for that magical figure above the halfway mark either. The other alliance here, which is the Congress and the left here, it's losing out. And this is a projection of a swing of minus 23.1%. Currently, the projections as far as the seat numbers here goes is between 29 to 37, and that is still a major climb down to where it is currently sitting at for the 2016 Assembly here, which is 76. We're going to be playing out more of those figures here while we go ahead with this discussion. But first, let me quickly introduce you to our first set of guests here. This is keeping the focus down here on the state of West Bengal. We have with us Mr. Javed Ansari, senior journalist with us. Is Anila Singh, spokesperson of the BJP. Souptik Chakraborty here, member of the TMC, and Dr. Fawad Halim, who's the spokesperson of the CPIM. Good evening to all of you. Thank you for being with us. But first, starting with Anila Singh. Anila, the numbers that we've gotten in here, this is the opinion of the mood of the voter here, and they're in the mood to give a lot more gain to the BJP, but not enough, it seems, to go above the magical figure, the halfway mark. It's not 200 par.
Sir, is this question for me? You have to repeat, because, my audio got connected just now.
All right, Anila, so the figures that we have for the BJP here on the seat projection, if you can see that up on our screen, I'll repeat it for you here. We're looking at massive gain here of a swing of plus 27.3%. It's a projection of between 99 to 115 seats in the assembly. It's a huge gain. It's commendable, but it's still not enough. It's not enough here to cross the halfway mark.
See, this opinion poll, I think it has been done in a very conservative way. That is why these figures are not showing us above 200. But let me tell you, in all practical ways, and the confidence which we have in the people of West Bengal, and they have confidence in Bharatiya Janata Party, I am telling you that this is going to cross 200. Not as a Bharatiya Janata Party spokesperson, but as an awakened citizen of this great country, I know it very well that what is happening in West Bengal, people are fed up. Mistrust of these citizens on the rule of law, and that weakens the basic fabric of good governance. I mean, that is the type of situation is in West Bengal. People have lost faith in good governance. They know that this is the state where crime is institutionalized, corruption is a lifestyle. So tell me, why not people are going to vote for Bharatiya Janata Party, a party whose stand is very, very clear, a party whose ideology is very, very clear, a party for whom nation is above everything. And when we talk about nation, then definitely the citizens living in this great nation comes above all. So now is the time when West Bengal really needs a political party which can give a right atmosphere for the growth. See, crime-free society is not dream of the citizens, but it should be the motto of any good government. But this is not happening in West Bengal. So as we talk about TMC, we can very well say T is for Tola Bandi, or you can say terror. M is for murders which are happening there, and C definitely for crime and corruption. And
All
the
right, so
people,
you're saying that
they do not want
this is
such
going to pitched on
atmosphere.
lawlessness here and corruption. But we'll play out the people's issues in just a bit here. Corruption, of course, figures high on that list here for people's issues, but so is unemployment here as well. But let's keep the focus on these numbers. Souptik Chakraborty, please, your reaction here to this on these figures. It's enough for the TMC perhaps to survive in power for a record third term here. But it's also a huge loss. Those numbers are drastically reduced.
Good evening and thanks for inviting me here. I would say that it's a very important thing to see that BJP has three divisions now. One is old BJP, one is new BJP, and the TMC leftovers. They don't have a CM candidate, and they are basically reacting where we are actually acting. So we have gone ahead and announced 291 seats, where they have just announced 57 seats. They're just going on a follow-up. They're catching up, basically. So in this scenario, I feel it's going to be a complete sweep for our Didi, Mamata Banerjee. And talking about what Mamata Banerjee has done, we all know there are so many prokalpos, so many things which Didi has done. See, what common people want. They want three basic things: treatment, Shastro Shati, talk about education, Kanyashri, free ration. So the basic needs of the people has been addressed, and they're very happy with whatever has been done. Over 89,000 kilometers of road has been built by our state government. So our Mamata Banerjee, our leader, our Didi, she is showing the way of Bengal to the world. And as far as BJP goes, I'm wondering who is going to lead them. There are so many. Will any TMC left over those who have?
All right, Dr. Fawad Halim, as far as the Congress Left Alliance here goes as well, it's a worry because it's only a further shrinking of space here. The Congress Left, which is currently sitting at 76, is going to go far down. Basis what this projection is showing us right now, that it's only going to be further reduced between a 29 to 37.
Well, at the outside, let me congratulate you, because you definitely have shown the courage that the left and the Congress is going to increase its vote percentage compared to 2019 by at least 2 percentage points. So I first have to congratulate you for your courage. Given the situation here in India, people have to really show exemplary courage to actually show that the left and the Congress is actually increasing its vote percentage in context to the last election that were held in West Bengal. Now, what is very interesting to note that day before yesterday, Narendra Modi's rally at Brigade Parade Ground, the Bharatiya Janata Party official social media handles had to actually steal photographs on the left and the CPIM's brigade rally and posted on their page to actually portray that the brigade rally of the Bharatiya Janata Party was a successful one. Now, people who are actually stealing photographs to actually convey to their constituencies that this entire show, which was a flop show in West Bengal, which was addressed by the Prime Minister of India, is something that actually shows as to in which direction the Bharatiya Janata Party is moving in. And the Bharatiya Janata Party spokesman has very clearly said that crime has been institutionalized by the TMC, whereas criminals are being institutionalized by the Bharatiya Janata Party. If you looked at the stage, it looked as if Narendra Modi was actually taking the roll call of the ED and the CBI. Mithun Chakraborty has got an ED
No,
notice.
but Mr.
Mukul
Fawad
Roy is
Halim, there's
on.
nothing that you're saying about your own alliance. What is the big takeaway for your own alliance here? You've compared the vote share with respect to 2019, which was Lok Sabha, but we're getting you vote share analysis basis 2016, which was the previous state assembly, and the swing factor here being for the Congress left is a minus 23.1%. So undoubtedly, it is shrinking for the Congress and left basis these figures here. But we'll get on those issues in just a bit. Mr. Javed Ansari, for these numbers that you've seen on our poll, what's your big takeaway on how this is going to fare on ground?
Look, obviously, Mamta has managed, if these numbers hold, Mamta Banerjee has managed to hold off the BJP. The BJP is making giant strides, but yet not good enough to occupy Writers' Building. Perhaps their time will come, but not this time. And again, if these numbers are correct, then the left and the ground is shifting irrevocably from under the feet of the left and the Congress party. They have been totally eclipsed. Not only is the BJP from 3 will now be at the very least 99, otherwise it will cross 100, which in itself is a major, huge achievement. They will be the principal opposition party, a role that was once occupied by the left, and the Congress will now be played by the BJP. And they will, and Mamta Banerjee winning the third time in the face of such seemingly such huge odds is a big achievement. Whether again, but she's losing numbers. She might be losing numbers, so therefore she will not have the kind of elbow room or leeway that she was enjoying up till now. But all this depends on whether or not these numbers hold true come May 2nd.
All right. Also looking at Mr. Javed Ansari, the personality politics here, as you said, she's not going to have enough elbow room. The numbers would come down, still would be in a position perhaps to retain that power. But Mamta Banerjee also continues to remain the strongest face, the most popular chief ministerial candidate and face. Compared to anyone else. She's currently in those figures. We play out that played for our screens and for your reference here as well. In terms of personality politics here, Mamta Banerjee 54.0%. The next phase coming in from the BJP, which is Mr. Dilip Ghosh, but that is way down, maybe by half, 24.9%. The next name after that is Mr. Mukul Roy, once again from the BJP, far down the line there, being 7.3%. And for the Congress and Left Alliance, if you have Mr. Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, who's at 2.3%, Mr. Souptik Chakraborty from the CPIM at 4.0%. So, Mr. Javed Ansari, it continues to remain Mamta Banerjee as that all-towering figure. You say West Bengal, it means Mamta Banerjee.
Well, without doubt, there's only one chief ministerial candidate. In order not to be accused of being biased, you may have put up all the other names. But tell me, is there another chief ministerial candidate for all this high voltage campaign that the BJP has mounted? Who's their chief minister candidate? They are pitting Mr. Narendra Modi and Mr. Amit Shah against Mamta Banerjee. And again, if these numbers hold true, then what is the takeaway from that? That these two did not measure up. That the giant colossus, Mr. Narendra Modi and Mr. Amit Shah, did not measure up to Didi. So what would that mean? All the others are just also range. We usually fill up our story by delving into history, and perhaps that's the exercise. The BJP, one thing that the BJP campaign singularly lacks this time is a local face. And we have enough and more empirical evidence to show that where the BJP does not have a strong enough local face, Mr. Modi alone cannot, he can increase your percentage of votes, increase the number of chances, but Mr. Modi and Mr. Shah alone are not enough to catapult you to power. And perhaps this is what was unfolding before us in West Bengal.
Right, Ms. Anila Singh, please respond here to that, because this is also with respect to the outsider versus insider debate here, and it would be so crucial for the BJP to have a local face. The two names here that are coming in for the BJP are much down the ladder here, Mr. Dilip Ghosh as well as Mr. Mukul Roy. Should the BJP be thinking more about having a stronger local face? How do you sustain the insider versus outsider fight then?
Before responding to this question, I will like to answer my co-panelist who blamed that we didn't have enough crowd on Brigade Crown, and our IT cell. They had to put the picture of their rally and showing everybody that it was of Modi ji's rally. I mean, more than 1 million people were present there, and we are being accused for this. I'm pretty sure by year end, this bizarre statement will get a prize, prize of most, I can say, bizarre statement of the year, because the ground was full of people and the crowd had come themselves to listen to Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. So please do not say that IT cell did some sort of mischief. Please do not, we are not going to accept that blame. Now coming back to the Chief Minister's face, I think this is a rhetoric.
Are you willing?
Sir, I didn't talk over you. I didn't talk over you.
Anila, complete your point.
Turn.
No.
So
I'll come back to you,
so
Dr. Halim. Anila, please complete your point.
Thank you so much. Yes. Now coming back to the Chief Ministerial candidate phase, I think it's a rhetoric, and Bharatiya Janata Party has become so immune of asking us before each election that who is going to be your Chief Minister. So all with the band, Baja, Barat, opposition and media, they keep on asking us, Kaun hoga bhai, kaun hoga Chief Minister? And we always say that Bharatiya Janata Party, not always we declare the face of the Chief Minister. Many times we do, many times we do not. So this is the modus of operandi in Bharatiya Janata Party. So if people should understand that what type of governance we are going to give in West Bengal, and people of West Bengal, they are going to have trust in the way we work. See, if I talk about any common person, they have got very, very basic necessities. And yes, very proudly we can say that 90 lakh people, they got gas connection, 7 lakh people, they got electricity connection, 60 lakh people, they got toilets, 25
all right, so talking about people's issue here, since Anila, you've started on the people's issue, let me take that question forth here to Mr. Souptik Chakraborty of the TMC here. Mr. Chakraborty, what we see the TMC raising in their political campaign here, in their election campaign, to what extent is it really resonating to what the mood of the voter is? We've heard TMC leaders, the Chief Minister included here, talk about rising prices being a major issue, talking about farmers' rights being a major issue, the CAA, NRC, in relatively less terms, but much larger compared to what other parties have brought up here on this. But these are issues which are down the list. If we play out percentage of what we have, rising prices is barely 5% of what the voters are thinking about. Farmers is barely 3%. Much higher on the list is unemployment, a huge chunk. Much higher on the list is electricity, water and roads, roti, kapda, makan. Where is all this reflecting for the TMC's campaign on what you think are the real issues of the voters here?
Well, to start off, I would just like to address, as we say, Bangla Nijer Meke Chai. Thank you for showing the polls. It clearly shows that Bangla Nijer Meke Chai, the daughter of Bengal, is coming back with 54%, and no one near. Mr. Dilip Ghosh almost trailing by half of it. So thanks for that. And I heard about gas connections. It shocked me because in Kolkata, it's almost 900 rupees and people are going out on the roads and protesting against it. And again, I'm going to talk about Aam Aadmi, the common people. Let's talk about the common people. They are kind of in a lot of trouble, basically. Petrol, gas, diesel, and lots more. But let me tell you about the unemployment factor which you're talking about. Few days back, 100 bankers, it's a figure, 100 bankers sat together and they have given out 63,000 crore to MSMEs. So that directly affects 27 lakh jobs in Bengal. Who is talking about unemployment? I don't understand. Where it's the worst unemployment year in 45 years history, Bengal's unemployment ratio has come down. Bengal has built its own Silicon Park, where TCS, Wipro, Cognizant, IBM, Ericsson, Capgemini, and so many more are there. I mean, the list is very long. Everyone is working out here. We youth, we are here.
Okay, let's get in final point here. As long as we need to quickly wrap up as far as West Bengal is concerned. We move into Tamil Nadu next here. Dr. Fawad Halim, final point here for West Bengal. What we've heard from you is all reactionary. Reaction to slamming the BJP, reaction to slamming the TMC. What are we to make of the Congress and left and its role in these elections? What is that point that this coalition is reaching out to the voters? Is it all going to be reactionary?
Well, the people are responding to what we are placing before the people of West Bengal. And the things that we are placing before the people of West Bengal are concrete issues. Concrete issues. There are 5.5 lakh government jobs are vacant today. Neither the central government, the BJP, is trying to do anything about it here in West Bengal before the elections. Neither is the Trinamool Congress telling the people of West Bengal what they're going to do about these 5.5 lakh vacant government jobs. The examinations for school teachers and other para teachers, the TET, the SSC, have not been held healthily for the past 10 years of here. Who is teaching the children of West Bengal? The BJP is silent on it. You have got the Tripura experience, what they have done with the teachers over there. The third thing is that in West Bengal, the issue over here is of development.
Okay.
Where is the industrialization coming in here in West Bengal? Neither the central government led by the BJP nor the Trinamool Congress government here in West Bengal are putting anything concrete forward for the people of West Bengal. In the background of the immense inflation, especially food inflation that is hitting everybody, fuel inflation that is hitting everybody, and one has to understand that whenever the prices of petrol, diesel and gas is increasing, the central government takes part of the pickings, and part of the pickings are picked up by the state government. So Mamta cannot absolve herself of the rising cost of fuel in West Bengal, whether it be gas or diesel. She's taking a huge amount of that revenue to herself.
Okay.
So, it's
all right. We got your point here, but quite surprisingly, rising prices not really figuring up top of the list for the voters here as per our poll. But appreciate you being with us.